Well, what can I say about Low Gap Shelter? We got there before it stormed, but because it was gonna storm, we decided to stay in the shelter. There was already a couple there, and then another couple came, and their son, and he had a dog, which the son and dog hung a hammock right on the shelter on the side, and he stayed out there in his hammock with the dog. But anyway, so when you're in a shelter, especially with multiple people, you hear everything, which is fine. Everybody's snoring. That doesn't bother me at all. I do too. But people roll over, and those sleeping pads are really loud, and most people sleep in like a mummy bag, so they're, trying to roll over, and you hear all that, and getting up and going to the bathroom, and turning their headlamp light on, and all that sort of thing. So I happen to be awake, and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I feel something hit my head. I'm like, what in the world? So I grabbed I just like kind of felt, and I felt something kind of wet, and I just like flung it, So then I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I get my headlamp, I turn my headlamp on, I look at my arm, there's shit on my arm. I have flicked shit off my head. So I take my headlamp and I turn it up to the rafters, and there's a bat. A bat is sitting there, hanging from the rafters, shitting on me at 2 o'clock in the morning. So what do? I can't scoot over because the shelter's full. So I get up and I go sit on a log in the dark from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. And then I'm like, I'm tired. I really need some sleep. So I go and I lay back down and I sleep for a while, and the bat was gone. I checked to make sure the bat was gone, because I'm like, what if it swoops down on me? I mean, exactly what am I going to do here? So I go and I lay back down. Well, then, by the time I get up and we get packed up and slow me and all that, it's 10:30 before we get out of there. And this was June 26th, which was my 26-year anniversary. So being shit on by the bat, and then I'm like, I'm not going to see Adam for our anniversary and whatever. So we're headed to Blue Mountain Shelter. And from Blue Mountain Shelter, we were going to skip over Unicoi Gap and go to the next shelter. Well, it was a rough day. It was rough, I think, because I had no sleep, and it just was a rough day. So about 4 o'clock, was that the day? Yes, that was the day. So about 4 o'clock, we're taking our last, 4 o'clock maybe. We were taking our last little break, and I checked the weather, and the storm chances had completely disappeared, so we didn't need to hurry and get to the shelter. We had, time, so we're just like, before these last 2 miles, we're just going to stop here and have a little break. So we're having our little break. We get finished, we get our backpacks back on, and we start heading down the trail to Blue Mountain Shelter. Well, about, half a mile maybe after we put our backpacks back on and took off walking, I heard thunder. And I was like, well, those lying bastards, it's gonna rain. But then it kind of sounded like it was far off and it was gonna, just slide on by. So, anyway, we just keep on walking. Well, then all hell breaks loose. Literally, all hell breaks loose. It starts pouring rain, hailing, and I'm like, well, what are you gonna do? All the advice is to not stand under tall trees, not stand on rocks, not stand in water. Well, where exactly are you gonna stand? We happened to be on the trail, and instead of it going like through the middle of the mountain, we were on the side of a mountain like a mountain goat. So what are you gonna do? So I saw a hill with some little smaller saplings kind of hanging over. So I was like, go over there. So we just run over there. put our head down, hold on to our backpacks still on our backs, have our trekking poles in our hands. Too late to put on rain gear, which we had taken off at our break, by the way, because the chance of rain had disappeared. So we just are soaked. We are completely and thoroughly soaked. So we go ahead, and after a while, it's like the lightning has finally moved away. We got held on 4 different times. Pouring rain, lightning, I'm freaked out, whatever. So finally I'm like, we probably should move, because the wind was blowing pretty good and we were completely soaked. There's a chance you'll get hypothermia. So I'm like, we probably should get to moving and just keep moving. So we get to about maybe half a mile before Blue Mountain Shelter, which is where the water source was, and it was awful. It was straight downhill, straight down rocks, and my first experience getting water, which I didn't tell you all about, I tripped over a root and went rolling, literally rolling sideways down a little hill. I'm fine. It's all good. But anyway, I was just like, I'm not coming back down here for water. And it just ain't going to happen. So we're sitting there, and Jackie's like, well, here's the pros and cons to, just staying at Blue Mountain Shelter. Or I was like, I'm going to call Adam. I'm just going to call Adam and see if he'll come get us. It's 6 o'clock at this point. So I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm leaving. Let's go. So I call Adam. Thank God. He's like, yeah, I'll come get you. Here it is, 6 o'clock at night. He's, by the way, grilling himself a steak and making potatoes, so he had to give that up and get a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Thank you, sweetie. To come pick us up. So we go on to Blue Mountain Shelter, change our clothes. We put our night clothes on that we typically sleep in, that you keep dry at all costs. So we did that. Put the rain jackets on, and while we're there changing, this lady comes up, this lady comes up, and she's like, hey, I just passed some people going down the hill. And we're like, yeah, it's the people we've been camping with. She's like, yeah, they left because they saw 3 bears here. So I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I'm glad we're leaving, because she's like, well, I don't know what the 3 bears were. I'm like, honey, it had to be like a mama and babies. 3 bears aren't hanging around together. So, bless her heart, I guess she didn't get eaten, but she stayed there that night by herself. We run on down the mountain. Oh my goodness. It took us 2 hours. Here we are, getting experiences we've never had before, because now, we're running out of daylight. We have our headlamps on, so now we're night hiking down a mountain with a good number of rocks down the side. So finally, we get to the bottom. We get to the parking lot. Adam is there, waiting on us. He could see us coming. He said he saw our headlights and headlamps, and he's like, well, why are they going that way? So I guess it looked like we were going around the other side of the mountain, but we were doing switchbacks. So, anyway, we got home, I think it was like 11:30. Oh my goodness. He brought us peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to eat on the way home, because he knew we hadn't eaten. So then the next day, it was full of errands, full of laundry, full of cleaning this and that. And then I was just like, my knees were still hurting and I was tired. So we ended up taking 2 zeros. And I think I only took a couple screenshots on the 26th. So there won't be much to show you there. So I'll see where I've left off here, and I will try to get you caught up. See you in a bit. Bye. Alright, so try to show y'all this again. This is a side trail that you take to get to the shelter camping area. Those side trails have blue blazes instead of white. So it's hard telling by the time you go down all these little side trails how much extra you walk all the time. But part of it, I guess. Thankfully, this one's not up or down, it's flat. That's rare. So I won't complain about that. This is the Tray Mountain Shelter. I think there's only... Ooh, there's a dude up there without a backpack. Seems a little sketchy. I think there's only one shelter left in Georgia, maybe. I might be making that up. I don't know. I'm tired. We got out at Unicoi Gap. We got off the other night because we got held on 4 times. Soaked to the bone. Got to the shelter. Well, I'd already called Adam. He said he'd come get me. But we stopped off at the shelter area we were going to stay at that night. And there was a lady there saying the people we camped with the night before saw bears. So they had left. So glad we left. Come to find out, they posted on this Far Out app later on that they saw 6 bears. So maybe this is trail maintenance or something. I don't know. He's talking to my hiking partner. Not ran into anybody actually weird yet, so. Yep, trail maintenance.
You're welcome.
Hold, please. So, we had the option yesterday. Let me flip this around. That's the second time today. So yesterday we had the option to stop at a shelter or to push a little over, I don't know, 3 to 4 miles and go ahead and make it to the road. Because we knew that today we would be doing a 0 because it was supposed to rain and storm all day long, not just in the afternoon. And actually it was supposed to do it yesterday afternoon too. We had just prepared that we were going to have to walk for 2 hours in the rain because that's what the forecast said. So here we go, you know, getting our rain gear and walking for 2 hours. Well, we didn't. We ended up stopping and taking it off because it's too hot. I mean, I'd be just as wet wearing the rain gear, sweating to death as I would if I got poured on by rain. So there's that. So we went ahead and pushed, and last night this time when we came back, instead of having Adam bring us, we brought our cars. We parked one at one end, walked, you know, till we got to the other car, and then drove and picked one up and picked the other one up. Then we went through a drive-through. I actually stopped in front of McDonald's, went in and used the bathroom and washed my hands, and then got back in my car and went through the drive-through because nobody wanted to smell me. So did that, checked into a Holiday Inn Express. After Jackie had reserved the room and paid for it, they informed her that the elevator was out. So the exact last thing I wanted to do yesterday, after climbing like 2,400 and some feet, was to walk up again. But we really had no choice. So we stayed there last night. And then this morning she found us a nice little place, and I have a balcony so I can come sit out here. And I've literally been working on videos all day because I'm no good at this. I might have stuff out of order. I don't know. It is what it is. So anyway, I'm enjoying the last of my down day. We went to a laundromat. We did our laundry. We went to a nice little pizza place for lunch. Now we are going to go somewhere and have dinner, get a good night's sleep in a real bed, get to have a real shower again, and we will hit back on the trail tomorrow. I'm only expecting it to take us like 2 more days. It'll probably only be 1 more day before we hit North Carolina, but there's nowhere to get off. So you either have to backtrack or go forward, and it's about the same distance. So we're going to move forward a little bit through North Carolina. So maybe I can do a little bit better of a job and wrap this up and get y'all something more interesting maybe to see. I don't know. Anyway, see you soon. Y'all have a good night. Bye.